this summer, we're going to try and put together a series of little chats with various people throughout the surf club. It'll range from champions like Grace Harris right through to people in the background who do all the heavy lifting around the place. It's about time everyone knew who the community was behind this surf club. And hopefully with these chats, we'll be able to bring out some of the personalities, some of the little quirks that they have, and let everyone see what happens in the background, get us to where we are as an operational surf club. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. We'll keep going if you want us to. There's no podcasting or anything. This is all just going to be done live and put together by Damo, and we'll see how you go, see if you like it. Thank you. Today's chat with Grace went really well. We were able to talk about things that sort of put her day-to-day together and got her through from when she was a young Grace through to her young adult Grace, now up on the Sunshine Coast studying and doing quite well in the sport and dominating. I think it's interesting to talk to people, and instead of just getting a sort of a timeline of all their achievements, it's nice to understand what happens in real life, how they're supported, their struggles, and also find out what sort of drives them and what are their values in their sport. So from that, I think we did pretty good, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes together. We're here with Grace today. We're going to have a little chat about her journey through life-saving and life. So we'll start off with, how are you today?
I'm great, Grant. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We'll start the journey at Nippers. Now, I know for a fact that you started your Nippers at Jan Jack.
Yes.
What are your reflections on your Nipper years?
Just a lot of fun. A lot of making friends, a lot of really good memories.
Yep.
That kind of forged the way to where I am now. So I can only reflect back on it and think of it as a really good time of my life.
Is it filled with competition thoughts, or more like you're talking about just getting down and having a lot of fun with your friends?
There is a competition aspect that comes with those thoughts, but it's mainly more just like the summer holiday program, seeing all the friends from Melbourne that would come down and stay for 2 weeks that we wouldn't see all year, and just getting down the beach and having some fun with them.
Is it a place where you learn to love the sea and the ocean and paddling your board and swimming in the sea and all that stuff?
Yeah, I'd say that's where I definitely grew my love for the sport and the beach and the ocean. We're so lucky to be able to train and race out there. There's no other place I would want to do that.
It doesn't feel like training sometimes, does it?
No, not all the time.
No.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. And in those early days, did you ever dream that you'd end up still doing it now and racing in some of the biggest races that go around the country?
No, I think every nipper, every nipper would probably dream of wanting to be in Nutri Grain and being in the top level, but sometimes it's just a dream. But I just don't think 12-year-old Grace would know that she'd be at the top end. So it's pretty exciting to look back on.
Yeah. When did you sort of start to think that maybe there was something in this sport for you?
I would say when I was about 16 or 17, when I was getting competitive in my board races at the national level, which is where I kind of wanted to focus a bit more on this sport and see how far I could get.
How did you get to that point of your racing there?
I had a really good support system behind me. We had a really good training crew, had heaps of friends down here. My brother, which is really good, we could push against each other. Also, my parents would support me a lot. I wouldn't be able to be where I am without them. And I guess just, in making sure that I enjoyed it, that's the best thing you could do.
What did the 16-year-old Grace, how did you do your day-to-day back then, if you can remember that? You had school, you had training, you had a little bit of social life going. How did you fit it all in?
I think from Monday to Friday, that was all very, wake up in the morning, go swimming, go to school, then train in the afternoons, and then homework at night, bed, and then the weekends, if I wasn't racing in the pool or at the beach, then I would, be going to social events with my friends and catching up with people that, I wanted to at that time.
Were your friends from the sport as well, or from lifesaving, or did you have a range of friends from other sort of areas in life as well?
I had a range of friends, but majority was from surf lifesaving and pool swimming.
So you all pretty much did the same thing on the same program.
Yeah, we were all. I think that's how we all got so close, because we were all on the same schedule.
How did you go with study? This is a question that I always ask young kids, and you looking back on that time, it's something that sort of gets neglected when you start piling in the miles and hard training and all that. How did you stay focused with your study?
I guess when I got to the older years at high school, we had spares and frees, so that was a really good time to try and get most of my study done then, so I wouldn't be up late at night doing all my homework and studying and getting ready for tests. But I just made sure that I balanced everything out and I was on top of it. I think that's the best way you can do it.
How did you keep that balance? Because with so much time put into your sport, it's pretty easy for it to go one way and sort of drift away from that studying or your career kind of thoughts.
I had a really good supportive school that I went to. They really like to see their students succeed in sport. So I would just, if I was behind in school, I would just let them know that I've got, this competition on, or I've got to go here to train, and they would just allow me to have a bit more extra time to, hand in an assignment or do a test or anything like that.
So you're at uni now?
Yes.
And you're just about finished, and you're doing exercise science, is that right?
Yeah.
So what do you see after you've finished your degree?
I'm wanting to go into a Master of Teaching, so then I can hopefully do PE teaching.
Yep.
Once I finish that, which I am really wanting to do for quite some time now.
So teaching, that sort of has a branch off into coaching as well. Is that something that interests you as well?
That could certainly be on the cards, but I think for me, I really, really enjoy the idea of being a PE teacher.
Yeah. So if we drift back a bit now to at that time when you're finishing school and you're around about that 17, 16, and you win a couple of medals at the Aussies at Torquay in the board race, how did that feel?
That was awesome. I just don't think, never would have thought that I would be able to achieve that as a Victorian. There's a bit of talk about Victorians not being competitive, so it was really good to show everyone up north that you can do it down in cold waters.
Your eventual coach up in Alex was one of those Torquay guys who did that. Do you share those sort of memories with him, or that philosophy with him that you can do things from down here in Victoria? Or
I think for sure. I mean, he understands what it takes to get to that level. I mean, you certainly don't have to move up, but he did the same thing. Leave home at a young age and move up, and I think that's we've got a really good understanding between each other with that.
I was lucky to hear an interview with Jimmy Walker, who's a bit of a legend in surf lifesaving, talk about one of your victories in the early days, and he was reflecting on the smaller clubs, and he said Torquay was a smaller club, and the buzz around one of your medal wins was so huge that it kind of shook the lifesaving sort of greater lifesaving, that we could have someone in a club like Torquay do those sort of things. It was a pretty massive thing to do, and you're right, you're going against a lot of people that make the move, which you eventually did. It is a difficult thing to do, but when you did make the move, what was the difference?
The difference was, I guess, the intensity of the training. It definitely went up a bit, but you get used to that with everyone's there wanting to achieve the exact same thing that you want. So everyone's there encouraging each other and pushing each other to their limit and trying to get to that level.
I've spoken to people who just said, you know, what you said, and have been involved in those environments, and they say there's a level of fun that comes with that. When if you try and explain to someone that, you know, emptying your tank every day is fun, it's hard for them to get their head around it. Do you see a level of fun in that sort of environment?
Yeah, I do. Well, if it wasn't fun, I still wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
I've made really good friends up on the Sunshine Coast, so it makes it a lot easier to rock up to training and have fun and push yourself, because you can still talk in between efforts and, you know, talk about what we want to do on the weekend or what we think is going to happen at racing, the waves. It's really good to make good relationships in the sport, because that really keeps you going.
There's a level of intimacy that comes with training with people like you guys do, 7 days a week, you know, all year round, all that sort of stuff, which I think is pretty hard to find in other areas of life, like at work or anywhere like that. Is that something that you really thrive off, that sort of knowing each other, that raw knowing of each other?
Yeah, I think you get to see the good and bad of people, especially under really stressful environments. But yeah, it's definitely like we all can connect on a really deep level, because we're all doing the same thing, and we're all going through whatever's happening at the time, through hard training sessions, through anything else. We're all just there for each other, so it's really good.
Do you like operating at that level?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever is there a bad side of you that comes out, and a good side every now and then?
Yeah, there definitely is a bad side that comes out. Maybe when I'm a bit too stressed, but my roommate puts me back in check pretty quickly. So.
And that's Taya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it good to have a good friend by your side?
It is, for sure. Yeah. Taya's a really good supportive roommate, so I don't think I'd want to share with anyone else.
You grew up with her down here. Yeah. She was in the club when you were young kids. She hasn't gone on like you have, but she must be a really good support for you while you're away from your family. Yeah, she's great. I think the fact that Tay and I live together kind of shows how fundamental this sport has been to both of us. You know, we've created our relationship on top of knowing each other through this sport, and it's led to us living together, which is really, really fun. Yeah. Yeah. So I know you have a big trophy cabinet at home, and you've got a couple of medals in teams at Alex now, which must have been an amazing thing to do. But when you talk about relationships and we spoke about that level of intimacy, how does it weigh up with your trophy cabinet?
Actually, most of my medals are at home in Victoria. I haven't got room for them at my place in Queensland, but I've got all my really special ones up there with me, like my Aussie medals and my Coolangatta gold. They're all the ones that stay with me. And
as far as your those versus the friendships you've got out of the sport, which sort of do you treasure most?
Oh, definitely the friends.
Yeah.
They're going to be lifelong friends. You can't change that for anything.
It's interesting. This club has thrown up a lot of great surf sports people over the years. And any time you sit down with them, it's an answer it's the same answer. It's all about the people they've gone through with, their friendships, all that sort of stuff, which is pretty amazing. And you brought up the Coolangatta Gold, which I was lucky enough to be up there at the end of last year to watch and see you win that.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It must have been a great feeling.
Yeah, it was great to finish it. So yeah, but it was a good race, good feeling. Hard work had paid off, so it was nice. Yeah, and you had a good winter last year, training up for it? Yeah, I think last winter was definitely my most hard-working and intense winter that I've put in. I definitely, I went into the season with goals and I wanted to achieve them, so I just went to town, really, with my training.
Now, Ben says he did a pre-season with you in Paris, doing so many steps, he said, a day or something like that. Was it a good trip?
It was amazing,
So it was a family trip to Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And London and Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So that side of things after a pretty hectic year the year before, where you competed in the Nutri Grain series.
Yeah.
So that was something else as well, because I believe there's only a few of you girls that have achieved that.
Yeah.
I think there might be only 3 or 4.
I think, yeah, 3 or 4, I think. Besides Harriet, the first girl, Victorian 14 years, I think it was.
That's amazing. What did that feel like to be in the Nutri Grain?
It was quite surreal.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't ever think that I was ever going to get there, because the level up there is so intense, and there's a big bunch of girls that are just so close to making it.
Yeah.
That it could really be anyone. So I was, really lucky, and that it was me last year.
Oh, I think you're a bit more than lucky. I think, like you said, all that hard work that you do, it does end up coming out somewhere, and to be in that series is amazing. And with all those girls, and you had some great races up there. It must have been so much fun. But that realisation sometimes, when you're standing on the start line and you look around at a lot of the competitors that you kind of looked up to maybe over the years. So there would have been Courtney Hancock maybe, and Harriet and a few others. So you would have seen them as you were growing.
Yeah.
What did it feel like standing next to people that you'd been watching and sort of hoping that you might have been one day? Did you have a feeling?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's actually like when you racing against them, you just realise that they're just normal people. Lana Rogers, I used to really idolise her. Now she's one of my really good friends, which 5 or 6 years ago I wouldn't think that would happen, because she was amazing, and I was just a little under 17-year-old. But it's really awesome to race against them and also form connections with them. It's a really nice group of girls that race there.
Is it like getting to a point where you have these dreams, and then the day that they sort of pop up and be real, is that the thing that's hard to get your head around?
Yeah, I still sometimes think I was in the Nutri Grain last year. I still don't think it really has clicked, because it just went so quickly. But yeah, it's something that I will always be very proud that I got there.
Now, to get to that level, there's a thing that I like to talk about. It's just day to day. And everyone loves getting to the race or standing on the podium or getting their medal or whatever it may be. But do you get enjoyment out of it all just by the day to day?
I don't really think about that, to be honest.
You don't?
No. I think I probably just distract myself with the day-to-days. I just kind of get in the routine, and I just keep going. So
it's basically a plan you stick to, and you just work through it? Yeah. Where do you go during the day, though, if you need to just sort of relax a little bit or take it easy? Do you go and have a coffee, or what's the story?
If I'm not working or studying, I'll go down below me downstairs, a really good coffee shop. If it's a nice day, I might go to the beach, or I might read a book, or just chill out and watch some Netflix.
Yep.
Just unwind a bit. Yeah.
Does your day to day, especially on weekends, involve a lot of socialising, or are you pretty quiet?
It can vary. I think leading up to a big event, it'll probably be quiet.
Yep.
Although I still might go out for dinner or something with my friends. But I think more social stuff for me is just going out for coffees, catching up with friends on the beach, kind of picnics, more that kind of stuff.
Do you surf? This is a question that a lot of people ask about all these men and women and all these fancy surf sports competitors. Do they actually surf, ride surfboards and stuff?
I used to.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped, but I actually have made a goal of mine to try and surf this off season, get back into it.
So my question's leading. That would be something that you get enjoyment out of the ocean with, instead of turning up for training all the time.
Yeah.
So is that what you're looking for, to get that enjoyment out of the ocean as well?
I think just using the ocean for a different purpose other than training. I do find enjoyment out of training 9 times out of 10, but just finding another way to enjoy it.
Yeah. That's all good, I reckon. So the gym wall, that was fantastic. You hadn't won a gym wall, you'd come close.
Yeah.
Was that a bit of a relief to just get that one done? Because I know you wanted to have a gym wall.
Yeah, I probably have come second or third quite a few handfuls of times. Last year I wasn't able to compete at the gym well because I was racing in the series, so I think it was really special to finally get it, considering that it was on my home beach and all my family and friends were sitting up on the hill watching. It was really good.
And you say Torquay is your home beach, and I know when you were getting the presentation, I couldn't help myself to say Alexandra Headlands and Torquay. I think a lot of people still think you're Torquay.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Yeah.
Do you feel Torquay still?
Yeah, I still consider myself a Victorian.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever not consider myself a Victorian. I still see myself as like that kid that grew up in Torquay.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. It's a part of me.
I know that group you grew up with, you had a wonderful year 2 seasons ago at the Aussies when the whole bunch of you made finals.
Yeah.
And you were at Alex, and then there's Archie.
Yeah.
And he was at Surface, and then there was Ben and Jaden and Nick and Millie.
Yeah.
And a heap of others, and you were all making all these finals at the Aussies. And you'd all grown up together and you were all friends.
Yeah.
You move away. This place gets a bit quiet over winter and leading up to summer. Everyone feels like they're having a bit of a sook, but as soon as Grace and Archie's coming back, you should see the car park. They all get a little bit excited. And I said to your brother just before you come back, I said, I know what you're all happy about. He goes, oh, what? I said, they're coming back. And he goes, yes. That must feel good, right?
Yeah, it is good. It's always nice to come home and see all my friends that are still down here giving it a good crack. So it's nice. It's nice to shake things up a bit between all the stuff I do up in the Sunshine Coast and down here.
It puts a bit of a skip in your step to come home sometimes.
Yeah.
And it just would feel like the old days, right?
Yeah, I love to come home.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it more often.
Well, you probably will one day.
Yeah.
Do you see a future up there or here?
I at the moment, I'd still like to move back down home.
Yeah.
I think all my family's down here.
Yep.
And there's just no place like it for me.
Yeah. It is a very special place, although your winters are nicer up there, and I often bump into you up there when I'm escaping the cold here, which is good. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, because most people at your age, when they've done absolutely everything like you have in the sport, start thinking about other things, maybe Olympic Games or other sort of ways, Molokai, all these different events. Do you have any of those on your radar to look into kayaking or anything like that, or have you?
No, I haven't. I think maybe in the future I've considered doing a marathon, but that's just to accomplish, not to succeed. But I am nowhere near done
with what you're
surf.
doing.
Yeah, I want to re-qualify for the Nutri Grain next year and be competitive. So until I do that, I don't think there's.
So that's your big goal.
Yeah.
And you had a go at it this year. It didn't go your way, but we all know in surf sports that can happen.
Yeah.
You have a year where, I know I've seen it, and I know you've seen it as well, where you're probably at the top of your game, it just doesn't go your way.
No, yeah.
You have another year where you might be thinking, I should have done a bit more, and it does go your way. It's interesting sport, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, the environment plays such a big factor in the sport. You can't control if you get hit and other people get out, or if you get a wave onto people. I think that's what makes the sport so exciting. Brutal at the same time if it happens to you, but it's a part of it. You can't change it.
I know when I saw you after your board race 2 years ago, where you hit the beach first in the open women's board. Oh, no. It was like, but the beauty of you, and I know why you will achieve what you want to achieve, and it will happen. It's when your time comes, is that after that race, and it was yours, but a lot can happen.
Yeah.
And it did. You held yourself better than anyone I know. Like most people spit the dummy, throw things around. You were even approachable for someone like me to come up and say, that's the best race I've ever seen you do. And you accepted what I said, and you accepted the whole situation, and you move on. And that is something that I think in surf sports, if you don't have that, it's not going to happen for you. You've got to be able to, as disappointing as it is, and deep inside you're probably busting up, but you move on. Yeah. Is that what you do? It looks like you do, but...
Yeah, I think there's some days where I can do that, and then there's other days where I'm probably a bit more gutted, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, so you just got to keep going and things will turn your way eventually.
They do, and it's a funny thing in surf sports because you can pick from that things that you can take into other parts of your life. Do you use the things that you learn in the surf for other parts of your life as well?
I think I've just learned a lot of resilience and independence when it comes to the sport. I guess that has also come with moving out of home, but I think that's really helped me into other aspects of my life. Yeah,
it would have. I noticed when you did finish that race and that moment came and then it goes, you reset again and off you go on, and you just put in the same effort straight away again in one of those. I think it was the Taplin. Did you go in after that or not? No.
I can't even remember now. I've done so many races since then.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's just been fantastic to watch. I've watched you come through. And one of the main things in all of this is the groups that you come through. A lot of people just drop off along the way. If there's just one thing that's made you stick at it, even the ups and downs, what do you reckon it is? Do you ever think about it, or
I guess it's just back to the friends that I've made and the fun that I've had along with it. That's the best thing that you can do. If you're having fun, then there's nothing that can really stop you. You're just enjoying what you're doing and you're loving what you're doing.
Fantastic. All right, I just want to wrap it up with one thing, just the support. Now, I know, and I hear it here, a lot of people want to be you and do what you've done, and they're just starting their journey. They could be 13, 14, and the parents all want that to happen for their kids too. So that sort of support, could you do it without that support from your parents and Billy and Ben and coaches and all that along the way? Could you have done it on your own?
No, I don't think I could have. I think all my coaches and my family have played a really big factor into where I've gotten today, and I don't think I could ever really show how grateful that I am, but having a really good support system behind me has been probably one of the best things that has gotten me to where I am.
I think you don't need to show your gratitude any more than what you did when you had that great race 2 weekends ago out here, and the racing that you continue to do. I think that pays everyone back in spades, but also you'll have your moment one day when you'll be giving this all back.
Yeah.
And especially in the career that you're chosen, you're going to be dealing with people that will need your support as a teacher and all sorts of things. I think you got that in you, and I'm looking forward to that happening one day. But in the meantime, you got to get back in the Nutri Grain series.
Yeah, I do.
You will for sure. Thank you so much for this. All the best for the rest of this year. I know you'll have a great rest of the season because you've done a great first half. And again, thanks for coming along and talking to us today.
Thank you.
All good?
Amazing. Well done, guys.
Yeah?
Well done.
Can we just see a little bit of a replay? No, I'm only kidding. I don't want to hear myself.
Yeah.
This is never to be shown.
Usually people can watch themselves, but when they hear themselves is when they freak out.
Oh. No, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
That's
it was all right. I didn't
No, that was fine.
Stir you up or make you feel bad or...
No, that was fine.
Oh, because you made me feel... No. I think the best takeaway from talking with Grace today is that she has a really nice balance, and she really appreciates the support she gets from her friends and also her training partners. Also, she's really committed to what she does. I think sometimes the problem comes with people who get a little bit, they don't get the satisfaction out of something, is they don't fully go for it. Grace seems to me to be someone who does, and she really backs herself, and she understands that it mightn't always go her way, but she has this resilience and this strength, and it's an inner strength, I think, that she uses and reflects on to dust herself off and get ready for what's coming up next. And I think that's one of the main takeaways. If I was to summarise her, that's pretty much how it is. She's someone that it's not the knockdown, it's what she does after. And that's just come from years of dedication and a really nice balance of really loving what she does and who she does it with.
When it became obvious that you were in the lead and were going to win, you should. It was like a wave that went through the entire crowd here. People got up on their toes. People were starting clapping. People went absolutely mad when you came out of the water, and it was obvious that you were first. And I don't know whether you could feel that, but I was behind the camera, and I could. Everybody stood up, and everybody took a step forward, and people were on their tippy toes. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
That's
was.
pretty cool.
It was a good thing.
Yeah.
Zed got a little bit excited.
Me too.
He's a big fan though, I think. But it was just a good thing, wasn't it?
That was amazing.
Good things are good.
And for Archie to do it as well.
Well, yeah.
Not his first time, but
yeah, to have the both,
yeah.
that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. To watch her across the finish line first at the gym wall, there was two things I think that it meant to the club. It was a bit of a relief because, like she said in the interview, she'd had a few goes at it and she'd come very close a number of times. And I think because it's at her home beach, she just wanted to get a gym wall. So I think it's one of those things that in the grand scheme of all the achievements that she has, the significance of it on a national level and an international level or whatever, it's probably not the greatest prize, but on a personal level of growing up here in Torquay and understanding the history of that race and what it means to our club, I think that was really important to her and to everyone around. I think it was just a really nice addition to her achievements and a well-deserved one too, because if you've been around a while before she moved up north, to see someone from a little kid grow up down here every night, training out here, and then to bring home that victory, I think it was a pretty amazing thing. Anything else?
That's it. I reckon you've nailed it.
Oh, all right.
Let's hope everything was in focus and the audio worked.